Justin Fields. Kevin Durant backpack look. His press conference. Amazing season for Justin Fields. And he's got a tough matchup against Philadelphia, but I think he's just matchup proof and you're starting Justin Fields. Like if you have a decision between Justin Fields and Tua Tagovailoa, I think some people would have drafted both of those guys. I'd certainly be leaning Fields, and there's not too many guys I'd want to start over him.
Yeah, he's my quarterback 6 this week. He's had 6 straight games with 60 rushing yards, at least 60 rushing yards, and a rushing touchdown. Like, it's one of those things that you sort of feel like, well, that's got to be unsustainable. And then you watch him play, and you're like, not with that guy.
Sustainable.
It's sustainable. I mean, that guy is legit. Again, 7 straight with 60 rushing yards, 6 straight with 60 rushing yards, and a touchdown. Philadelphia actually bottom 12 for as great as their Eagles defense is, and there's a lot of stats that show you how good they are. As great as they are, they're actually bottom 12 in the NFL against quarterbacks rushing yards. They're top 12 in terms of most rushing yards allowed to opposing quarterbacks here. They're obviously going to prepare for this, but I don't know how you prepare for a guy that just improvises the way Justin Fields does. They're 9-point favorites, the Eagles are, so you figure game script actually favors Fields. They're going to be throwing and, kind of in desperation mode. And so, yeah, I don't know. If you're in the playoffs and Justin Fields is on your team, you're probably in the playoffs because of Justin Fields.
Yeah.
And I think you're starting him.
I think so too. I think that game might be a bit closer than people anticipate as well. The Eagles maybe looking ahead to that Dallas matchup the week after.
And by the way, it's a weird one. Even in games and even in years in which the Bears are crappy, like late season games in Soldier Field, it's tough. Like December games in Soldier Field, it's exactly. Like it's just the Bears are tough at home. Even in games and even in years in which they suck. They always I feel like especially in like late November and Decembers, right? I don't know.
Yeah, I like the Bears.
Did they beat the 49ers this year?
Beat the 49ers in week 1. Yeah, like 8-point underdog.
Right. In that rain game again. That's just weird. That monsoon, right? Just weird stuff happens in Soldier Field sometimes. Again, right? Should be freezing cold. They might be taking it a little bit for granted. Fields is a top 6 play for me this week.
Yep. David Montgomery. Getting a lot of love from Matthew Berry. He's RB13 in your ranks. Why so bullish on David Montgomery? Well,
first off, it's volume, right? For the last 3 games, he's had at least 18 touches. He's played 75% of the Bears' running back snaps in 2 of the last 3 as well. No Khalil Herbert. He's not expected back until next week. So David Montgomery should get the majority of work in this game. And we know, we've talked about this, the Eagles struggle against the run. Now, they've gotten better recently. Jordan Davis has come back. We've seen some signs of life from Ndamukong Suh. But still, it's not like an elite run defense. It's just gotten better. It just hasn't been horrific lately. And so Montgomery, based on the volume, do I think he gets into the end zone? I do. They use him somewhat in the passing game as well, right? He's had 29 red zone touches this year. That is 16th among running backs. They use him when they get close to. And the other thing is that because of the mobility of Justin Fields, what you often have to do when teams face mobile quarterbacks like that, you have to keep a spy on them. And so that usually opens up running lanes for running backs as well, right? So we always like running backs on teams with really mobile quarterbacks because, again, just you got to keep a linebacker spy on the quarterback, and if you do RPO correctly, then that can open up some stuff.
Yep. Let's jump to one of the Saturday games. The first one, Colts at Vikings. The line here is only 3.5, which I think surprises some people. That
Vegas hates the Vikings.
Vegas does hate the Vikings.
Yeah.
The Vikings are thought of in the same tier of team as the Commanders. I don't think Vegas differentiates between those teams much at all. Same caliber of team, and the Commanders are fine, but they're both the 16th, 17th best team in the NFL, right. That type of range.
Maybe Vegas said, you know what? Oh my God, we just realized this, but Jeff Saturday is coaching on a Saturday. You can't go against that.
No.
I mean, it's science.
He's got his one Sunday win.
Yeah.
He didn't do well on Monday.
No,
Jeff
but that
Monday.
was back on Saturday.
Yeah,
this is his day.
Yeah.
This is his day.
Could be his day. Could be Jonathan Taylor's day. Jonathan Taylor and Dalvin Cook, both running backs in this matchup. Right. They've both been overshadowed this year. Dalvin Cook by Justin Jefferson, Jonathan Taylor by kind of the world. Everything's overshadowed Jonathan Taylor. What do you think of these 2 running backs?
Jonathan Taylor's going to have a monster game, right? I mean, first off, just obviously volume, right? At least 20 carries in the last 4 games. It's a good matchup with Minnesota that's allowed, that's really struggled recently against the run. They're in the bottom half of the NFL in terms of a run defense over the last 4 weeks. If you can get Jonathan Taylor involved in the passing game, that's even more beneficial, as the Vikings have allowed the 5th most catches and yards receiving to opposing running backs as well. So Taylor, who's gotten in the end zone in 3 of the last 4, and most importantly, I'm facing him in 2 different playoff games this week, so he is going off.
Yeah.
Jonathan Taylor's my running back too. He's going to have a monster game.
Yep. He's gotten those 20 carries or more 4 weeks straight, coming off the bye as well. Ankle. Yeah, he's gonna huge.
the game in which I benched Kittle for Ken Walker, the team I'm playing, they have Taylor.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Stupid Ed might have him too. I don't know.
How are we feeling about Dalvin Cook on the other side? Has been an okay year for Dalvin Cook. It's been fine, but he hasn't exploded into the top 2-3 running back that
he hasn't. But
ceiling.
He's scored in 2 straight. You know, this is a guy who's top 5 in the NFL in terms of red zone touches. And I know the Colts are. They have a reputation of being good against the run. Yeah. But would you believe, since week 11, they are 29th in the NFL in terms of most rushing yards allowed.
Well, Zeke and Pollard put a big dent into that.
1,000%, right? In fact, each of the last 2 games, the Colts have given up over 170 rushing yards to their opponents, to your point. Yes, Zeke and Pollard look absolutely awesome as well. And so Dalvin Cook, I think, I don't know how you're not starting him. He's my running back 8 this week. So still lower in the top 10, but still an RB1.
Yep. All right, Matthew, let's do it. Let's talk about Alvin Kamara.
I was told we wouldn't have to.
We have to talk about Alvin Kamara.
I apologize because I'm not playing against Kamara in any of my playoff games.
Yeah.
So
can't trigger him into
no.
6-touchdown Christmas performance like against the Vikings.
I'm nervous about him, right? I mean, the Falcons actually, for all the struggles the Falcons have had defensively, they're pretty good against the run overall, right? I mean, they're pretty good in establishing the run. This is what I meant to say. Apologies. They're pretty good at running the ball, and so I think you have a slow pace of play game, especially in Desmond Ridder's first start. I think they're going to want to go really run heavy in this particular game, and so the game slows down a little bit as well. So Alvin Kamara, who has under 100 yards from scrimmage in 5 straight games, he's scored 3 total touchdowns all year long, and that all came in 1 game.
Yeah.
Like he's allergic to the end zone. I don't know what it is. And so you're nervous about this. Now, we expect the workload to increase because no Mark Ingram, right? Eno Benjamin just got there. My expectation here is that they would use Alvin Kamara more, but also they get in close and they do dumb stuff like, hey, here comes Taysom Hill on a Wildcat, and he's going to keep it. And you're just – anyway, he's my running back 17. I don't know what to do with Alvin Kamara, honestly. I mean, listen, I'm a starter. I'm a running back 17.
Against the Falcons.
Just it's in theory a good matchup just because – they're a bottom 8 run defense so far in the year, so you can, in theory, run against them. But again, I don't know how many possessions the Saints are going to have because I do think the Falcons do a good job here in sort of controlling the clock. They haven't used Kamara in the passing game nearly as much as you would like them to recently. It's weird.
It's very strange. Eno Benjamin about? No.
Yeah. It's weird, right? I mean, it's mind-boggling to me, the entire offense. So what you're banking on with Kamara is you're banking on usage and you're banking on sort of just pure talent of his, that he has the ability to break one at any point.
The thing with Kamara the whole time, which has made it so strange, is he looks fine. Yeah. He looks healthy. So you figured that just one of these weeks it's going to happen. And it does feel like, isn't he the exact type of guy who just randomly wins you a league? Like he'll just come out and have 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, a couple of years ago he had the 6-touchdown game.
Yeah.
Just out of just single-handedly just blew people out of there. Again, the 3rd touchdown game that he had, early in the season. Again, he would have been bad, and then all of a sudden, and people were like, oh, what happened? And then he exploded.
I think this might be the week. Let's talk about a couple of.
All right, there you go. Start Alvin Kamara per Jay Croucher.
Yeah, put my name by
I'm a starter as running back 17, but there's certainly upside there. There's
Huge
more upside with Kamara than you see normally in running back 17.
Absolutely. All right, let's talk about a couple of first-round pick wide receivers. So with Cris Olave. Leads all rookie wide receivers in receiving yards. Hasn't been that inspiring of late from Olave. Didn't do too much last game, but how are you feeling about him against the Falcons?
Yeah, I'm as a top 20 play. I'm literally at wide receiver 20. I think with Olave, you're just sort of banking on his talent, and volume of looks from Andy Dalton. Say this for the Red Rifle. He is not scared to just launch it to Olave's down there somewhere. Screw it, and he just chucks it up there. There's a floor with Olave, who's had at least 60 receiving yards in 8 of 12 games this year. To me, he's too talented for me to bench. And I get it. It's not the best matchup. Atlanta is better against the pass than they are against the run. I think part of that is because teams have run successfully against them. But yeah.
All right, let's quickly hit on Drake London, who came out of nowhere against the Steelers. 12 targets, 6 receptions for 95 yards. Any confidence starting him against the Saints?
No. If you want stats to talk you into it, right? 5 for 74 the first time he played the Saints. To your point, had a good game last week, had 12 targets as you mentioned, had a season high in yards last week. But it's Desmond Ridder. It's Desmond Ridder's first start. Who knows, man? And they want to go run heavy here correctly. Marshawn Lattimore is expected to play in this game. My expectation here is that London will see a decent amount of Lattimore. No. He's been too inconsistent this year for me to risk a playoff matchup on Drake London.
Yep, I'm with you there. All right, let's go to break. When we come back, weekend winners.
Okay.
Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBC Sports and Rotoworld.com. Just want to thank you so much for watching what you just watched, or at least being too lazy to click out of it after the autoplay just kept it going. So either way, thank you so much for just letting it scroll by your screen. And now I'd like to ask you respectfully, please subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel for the latest NFL news, fantasy headlines from Rotoworld, and betting analysis from NBC Sports Edge.